not play with me because I'm not the one nor the two. You're not the one or the two. Let's go. You ain't got shit to You ain't gonna do nothing. I just need my ticket. You speaking on me for nothing? Like I said, keep my name out your mouth. Because mine is always in yours for some reason. No, some reason. It always out of here. Out of here. Out of here before I slap the You're not gonna smack. Try me. You think you're fucking up? I'm not trying me. Try me, Tandika. I be done drop kick your ass. Out of here, you dirty. I'm not dirty. Yes, you are.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about more ghetto behavior, right, involving some Frontier airline employees who have gone viral for the way that they treated a man who was running late for a flight, okay? Apparently, he forgot to check in, and he showed up to the desk about 50 minutes before his flight. The check-in cutoff time is 60 minutes, and they basically had to charge him a fee, right? And he got upset by the fee. I think it was $25 that he had to pay for agent assist, to have agents assist you with checking in. And at that point, it basically breaks out into an argument, okay? Because the man is upset with the fact that he has to pay a fee, and also because of the customer service, okay? These women mocked the man because he was late and because he was going to miss his flight over the fact that he didn't really want to pay the fee. Even though he said he would pay the fee, the women were still refusing him service, okay, causing him to buy a $500 ticket with JetBlue in order to get back home. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and roll this clip.
I'm here 30 minutes before the flight.
Can you please leave, sir?
No.
Can you please leave my personal space?
I'm decided that you ain't gonna let me check in.
Make me check you in.
You literally work for a company that I bought a plane ticket for. Check in.
And you're not getting on your flight. It's the Mayday flight. You didn't. And you think you're gonna check me in. I bet you we won't. Okay?
I paid for a ticket.
And you
yeah, I paid for a
ticket. For agent assist fee, and you checked in 3 hours later. Hello.
I just said that I.
Get on your flight.
Yeah, I just said that I would pay the $25.
And you thought you were gonna get on your flight. And you thought you were gonna get on your flight. And you thought you were gonna get on your flight. And you thought you were gonna get on your flight.
I literally paid for a ticket. I'm here 30 minutes. I'm here 30 minutes before my flight, and they're not letting me check.
Listen, we don't control that.
And you will never fly.
You were about to let me check in. You were about to let me check in, and you did not in your personal space. This is not your personal space. This is my stationery. This is not your personal space. You work for a company. This is not your personal space.
We ain't gotta worry about it. We ain't gotta worry about it.
You don't have to worry about it. You're literally not doing your job for a customer that has paid for a plane ticket to get home.
I told you to stop putting the camera on me, sir.
I'm literally here at Frontier. I bought a ticket and they are not letting me check in. For no reason whatsoever.
Well, you said you're never flying the airline again, so we might as well help you out and have you not fly the airline.
I've already bought a ticket. I've literally already bought a ticket, and this is your reaction.
Yeah, so you see that, you heard that, okay? Now, this story has gone viral, which means that it is a national news story, and this is why we're about to watch this news clip of the incident and Frontier Airlines' response to this, because they have fired these employees. So I want to talk about it, but before we get into it, we have to have a word from the sponsor of this video, Morgan & Morgan. Life can change in an instant. One moment you're fine, the next, well, everything is different. You're left with questions, with pain, with the feeling that you've been wrong, and the system, well, it feels like it is built against you. This is why you need somebody that's on your side, somebody that understands, somebody that will fight for you. At Morgan & Morgan, they're not just lawyers, they're advocates. They're here to give you a voice when yours feels lost. They've recovered billions for people just like you. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm, takes on all types of injury cases, from car accidents to medical malpractice. They fight for your rights and the compensation that you deserve if you become their client, so that you can focus on healing. They've achieved significant verdicts over the past few months for the victims involved in life-altering car crashes, like out in Florida, a $12 million verdict, which was over 34 times the highest insurance offer. And they work on a contingency fee basis, which means that you don't pay unless you win. It's really that simple, to be honest with you. So you can start your claim now with Morgan & Morgan at forthepeople.com/blackconservative, which will be in the description below, right? The link will be in the description below, or you can scan the QR code on the screen with your phone's camera.
Between a passenger and Frontier Airlines employees at RDU is going viral. The video was posted on X, shows an employee mocking a traveler. WRL's Monica Casey is live out at RDU right now with Frontier's response to all this. Monica.
Yeah, Jeff, that video was originally posted on a travel blog called The View from the Wing and then picked up by the New York Post. That man was trying to travel from RDU to Boston, flying Frontier. Here's what happened at the counter.
And you thought you was going to get on your flight. And you thought you was going to get on your flight. And you thought you was going to get on your flight. And you thought you was going to get on your flight.
I literally paid for a ticket. I'm here 30 minutes. I'm here 30 minutes.
Now, the video doesn't show what led up to the confrontation. According to the passenger, he arrived at the airport 50 minutes before his flight. Frontier's policy is that check-in must happen an hour ahead of time. You also have to pay to print your boarding pass at the airport per Frontier. Now, the customer told that travel blog he pushed back but ultimately agreed to pay before that video was taken. He also said RDU police got involved. Broadcastify radio traffic shows what happened.
Simple. It's going to be Frontier's ticket counter. White male, bald head, green shirt, causing the problem.
Units are clear code Q with a customer service issue. Subject has moved to JetBlue to book a ticket.
Now, that radio traffic is from last Friday, and RDU does confirm police were involved. No arrests or anything like that. About 15 minutes passed between that first dispatch call and the all clear. Now, Frontier tells WRAL the women in that video were employed by a third-party contractor, and they are no longer associated with the Frontier account. RDU has deferred to that airline for any further comment. Live at RDU, Monica Casey, WRAL News.
Yeah, so apparently Frontier is so cheap, they don't hire their own employees, right? They don't do their own vetting. They just let anybody work for them, right? They let somebody else hire their employees, which kind of explains why you had these people working for Frontier. Again, not very good at customer service, even though the guy was a little bit late, right? I just personally feel like in a situation like that, I would like to see customer service, you know, do good customer service, right? Go above and beyond for the customer. Now, I mean, listen, this is just my own personal life philosophy, okay? Anything that you do, any job that you have, even if you're not getting paid what you think that you're worth, or that you're not getting paid what you want, okay? It doesn't matter. You're doing a job, right? And you should do it to the best of your ability, right? You should try to do whatever you can that is reasonable to make the customer happy. This is a mentality that I've had. It doesn't matter what job I've had, right? When I was a teenager working in the meat department, right? In the deli, being a cashier in the produce, okay? Jack of all trades. Hey, you know, customer service, okay? When I was working in financial services, corporate America, yeah, you got to go above and beyond, right? You got to stay a little bit longer to help out a client, to get some stuff done. You got to do what you got to do, right? Even when I was doing Uber on the side, okay, doing Uber on the side, you still want to generally try to do what's right by the customer. That's just my philosophy, you know, if I was to work for a company, right? But when you talk about situations like this, you know, I just feel like it's just one of these things that is a reminder of how customer service or good customer service is becoming more and more and more of a rarity. Because although this guy was late, there is no excuse for these employees refusing to check him in, right? If he agrees to pay the fee, then he paid a fee, you give him the ticket so that he has a chance to catch his flight, right? I mean, with 30 minutes, right, who knows, okay, if he could actually make it, but maybe he can, maybe he can't. Regardless, you don't hold him up, you do what you gotta do and send him on his way, right? You don't mock him, you don't make him miss his flight. I mean, like, again, this is just piss poor customer service. How did these people get hired in the first place? Did they do an interview, right? Did they even sit out for an interview? I don't get it. I really don't. But, you know, hey, I guess you kind of get what you pay for, right? When you fly on these cheap airlines, right? They're getting you with fees left and right. Okay. In fact, I just flew Spirit, right? I flew Spirit and I wanted some water, and I'm thinking that water is free. Oh, they just gonna give me some free water like they do on, you know, basically any other airline. No, water was expensive, right? They were charging me so much money. So yeah, that's what happens when you try to save a buck, right? When you're flying, is that you get this type of customer service, including at the ticket counter, right? At the ticket counter, it's already bad enough that you're making them pay a fee to check in, okay? Which again, is only there as a as kind of a tool to make people pay because of the fact that they're late, right? It's basically a fee for being late. That's all it is, right? It's a fee for being late. And for wanting human interactions will too, right? If you want to talk to a human, you got to pay up, okay? $25 talk to a human. Kind of ridiculous, but you know, again, you get what you pay for, right? If you're flying on some of these low-cost airlines, then you got to deal with, you know, low-income behavior, right? Including the employees, right? It all trickles down, okay? It all trickles down. So, you know, I mean, it's one of those situations where I definitely feel for the dude, right? I have been in those situations, but I've mastered the airport, man. I've mastered the airport, okay? I don't check any bags, okay? I got my online check-in going. I know exactly what to do. I don't have TSA pre-check, but I do have clear. So I've been using that, and it's hit or miss, right? Sometimes I'm like, yo, this clear thing is making me take longer. And then sometimes I'm like, wow, you know, this was actually pretty useful. So again, that's hit or miss. I'm just saying that I feel like, you know, for me personally, you know, when you're at the airport, you kind of got to plan ahead of time, right? You kind of got to know how to finesse it so that even if you're late, let's say you show up 50 minutes before your flight, that, you know, it's a good chance you're still going to be fine, right? You're still going to be able to make the flight. And a lot of that really is just skipping the check-in, right? Just skipping the check-in altogether. And again, this is why I don't check bags anymore, right? Any place I fly, I'm doing a carry-on. If I got to, you know, keep washing my clothes or whatever, then hey, that's what I'm gonna do. But you know, I'm not checking bags, right? I don't check bags at airports anymore. Okay, I learned my lesson the hard way. Okay, when you get your luggage lost, when for whatever reason the system's not working when it comes to checking in the bag, and then you got to stand in line, that is the worst, the absolute worst at an airport. But again, in this situation, I think these employees, there's no excuse for their behavior. I know the guy was upset about having to pay the fee. But, you know, ultimately, if he agrees to pay the fee, then you do what you got to do and you keep it moving. But they didn't, and they got fired, right? At some point, these companies will learn. From a PR perspective, you probably shouldn't be cutting corners when it comes to hiring. I get it, right? You want to keep things as low cost as possible, okay? But when you have the employees acting like some of the passengers, when the employees are as unruly as the passengers, I think you got a problem, right? I think you got a problem. So, you know, that's what's going on here with Frontier. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.